Back to domestic politics, and delighted to say that the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, is able to join us now from Glasgow this morning. A very good morning to you, Home Secretary.
Good morning, Wilf.
I want to get to why you're there in Glasgow in a moment, but just first, the top story of the day, of course, is the US election. And I just wonder the extent to which you as a government are preparing different approaches depending on what the outcome is.
So we have a very deep partnership with the US, and the UK and US governments work closely, particularly on issues around national security, on the Five Eyes partnership around intelligence. That deep cooperation will continue under any administration, and those are the issues that, as Home Secretary, are the most important for me and the issues that I continue to work on. So obviously it'll be for the US people to choose their president in the elections this week, and we will continue to work closely with whoever is elected as US president.
Tell us why you're there in Glasgow today.
So we're here in Glasgow for the Interpol conference, and this is bringing together law enforcement from across the globe. But we've chosen here to highlight the new £150 million investment in border security that is crucial to going after the criminal smuggler gangs who undermine our border security and put lives at risk. They've been getting away with it for too long, and it's that concerted international law enforcement approach that we are determined to take, and that's why we're talking about our border security here at Interpol today.
Your press release alongside today's gathering says that you're unveiling a game-changing investment to tackle the people smuggling gangs. If it's game-changing, will we see the numbers next year of small boat crossings fall significantly?
Well, no one should be making these dangerous boat crossings. They undermine border security, they put lives at risk, and we've seen far too many lives lost. The Prime Minister's made clear we want to see significant progress made, but we have to have those partnerships in place, and that's what we're working on. Working with France on going after the gang networks that are operating in northern France, working with Germany on some of the supply chains, the way in which the boats are being moved across Europe in order to be moved to northern France. We should be stopping those boats before they reach the French coast in the first place, working with Italy on illicit finance. So it's those international partnerships that we are building up. We haven't had that action before. So this is a huge step change in the way in which we're working on international law enforcement to go after the gangs.
Clearly this conference bringing various European leaders together. We can take you out of shot for a moment as well, Home Secretary, if you like.
Sorry,
I can make this question very long. Trust me, I have the ability to fill random airtime.
Thank you, Will.
The conference clearly that you're hosting is about collaboration with European partners. And I had a question about whether you personally believe French authorities are doing everything they can to stop small boat departures from northern France.
Well, I've had many discussions with the new French Ministry of the Interior, and we both share a determination to increase the action against the criminal gangs that are operating, because what they've seen in France is increasing violence on French beaches against the French police. That is disgraceful, coming from those criminal gangs who are organising these dangerous, flimsy boats. So that is a determination that we share. We will cooperate to do so. There is already a lot of work done by the French authorities along the French coast, but what we share is this determination to tackle those gang networks so that you are intervening earlier, even before people reach the French coast in the first place. And that's why we're doing this jointly with the Calais group. That includes Belgium, it includes Germany, and also this cooperation, a lot of the work that's been led by Italy as well. The UK has not really been part of that cooperation for far too many years. We're saying now we want to play a leading role in that law enforcement cooperation and actually going after the smuggler gangs wherever they operate. We've been working with Bulgaria. We've been working with other countries along the supply route. That's what we need to substantially increase as a result of this new investment.
But what about once they reach the northern French coast? Do you believe there's more the French could do to stop boat departures?
Well, that's, as I said, those are the issues that the French Interior Minister and I have been discussing, is what we can do in partnership. That's partly why we are putting this £150 million of new investment into specialist investigators, to new technology, state-of-the-art surveillance and data analysis to be able to go after the criminal gangs. Because these are shared challenges for countries right across Europe. So we believe that we can do more, not just through France, through Germany, through other European countries along the supply chain, and that the UK has to be in partnership with those countries. In the end, the best way to boost our border security, which is crucial and which this government is committed to, the best way to do that is to work with other countries, not to just stand along the shoreline shouting at the sea.
Clearly, Kemi Badenoch is now one of your most high-profile opponents in the years ahead. But putting the politics aside, do you pause and celebrate that another woman from a minority background indeed has got a senior position in UK politics?
Of course, we should congratulate her for that, and the Prime Minister has already congratulated her for that. I think the issue for this is, you see, for children right across the UK can see that you see glass ceilings being smashed, you can see that there are no limits on the things that you can do. So I think that is important. Of course, there will be all kinds of disagreements about issues and so on ahead, and those will be the issues that we'll move on to.
Clearly, you are a woman in a very senior position in a Labour government, as indeed is the Chancellor. Would you like to see a leader of the Labour Party be a woman in the years ahead, in the next decade, even to replace Keir Starmer whenever his time does come to step down?
Well, we've obviously had, I think both Harriet Harman and Margaret Beckett have been acting leaders of the Labour Party at different times, very important times in our history. And you're right, we also have now the first woman Chancellor in Rachel Reeves. And yes, of course, we will have future Labour leaders and, of course, as every single post as well. So that is part of, I think, the work that the Labour Party has done through the years, is campaigning for everybody to have opportunities. But also, in the end, this is actually about the country and the changes that we need to make for the country as well.
I mean, Harriet Harman and Margaret Beckett, fantastic interim leaders as they were. They didn't win any leadership contests.
Of course, yes. And of course, we will have in the future as well. But I was just highlighting, I think both of them have been remarkable women who have done amazing things in politics as well.
And just finally, I wanted to bring up the budget. And we've had a lot of sort of toing and froing on this with your colleagues and on this show in particular and this time slot over the weekend. The latest headline coming from The Times from Sir James Dyson saying that the budget has shown Labour's true colours with a spiteful budget, and went on to say that they've chosen to kill off aspiration. What's your view towards those words from Sir James Dyson?
Well, I clearly don't agree with that. I think the opposite is true. This is a budget that's about fixing the foundations. We did inherit the shocking state of the public finances that was much worse than we had anticipated, and also very weak growth in the economy and the parlous state of our public services, particularly our National Health Service, which has really been pushed onto its knees. And so what the budget has done has been setting out how we fix the foundations, get the public finances on track, how we also boost growth across the economy, and also how we start to fix those really damaged public services, particularly with the investment in the National Health Service. Of course, that has meant some difficult decisions. We don't run away from that. We would not have been able to turn our backs on that. That's the way the Conservatives operated for so long, and that's why we've run into so many different crises under the last Conservative government. We can't carry on doing that. We have to actually fix things, and that's what this budget is doing.
So do you reject Dyson's words that this was a spiteful budget?
Of course. Of course, I don't agree with that. I think this is about a very positive budget to fix the foundations, but also to be able to grow our economy, to support growth and opportunities for everyone in the future. Because if you don't sort out the public finances, then that is going to hit our economy. That is going to hit businesses across the country. That is going to hit growth. It's also going to hit families across the country, and it's going to hit the public services that every single one of us depend on them. We can't just keep ignoring those problems. We've had to face it. It does does mean difficult decisions, but I think what Rachel Reeves has done, is set out the way to start fixing those problems for the future.
Home Secretary, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.